What it do, Lefati? Welcome to Untapped, and I go by the name of Keoagile Kevin Mohoni, doing it once again for Carve Africa. So today we have a very special guest. This guest here has so many things under, the umbrella. He's an award-winning cultural curator. So if you don't know about a cultural curator, he'll definitely do the explanations for everything. But today we're also going to speak about Shimza's There's No Wrong Way tour to celebrate the versatility of Johannesburg's music culture. Because if you know, Ballantine and Shimza, have been rocking stages, have been rocking cities for the past couple of months. We kicked it off in PTA. We went to Durban. We now finally in Johannesburg. So the guest today that's joining us is LeloWhatsGood.
Hey.
How you doing, Lelo?
Thank you so much for having me, Kevin. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Thank you for that intro.
I'm 100. I'm so excited about this because in so many ways you've been killing it for so many years. And
yes.
if you didn't see or you weren't at the Ballantine Boiler Room, last week, and you didn't see Lelo play, my God, you wouldn't know what's good about it, Like the thing is,
you wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know because they were not there. You didn't get to experience the whole, everything. The thing is, when it comes to the music space, culture as creators, because you're an award-winning cultural curator. I just want you to enlighten us about, award-winning. Well, let's leave out the award-winning, but as a cultural curator, what is this?
Yeah. Me being a culture creator started 3 years ago. I started with Vogue Nights Jozi, which is basically about community and celebrating queer culture, to be quite specific, actually. Because Vogue Nights it's a ballroom event that brings together people from all walks of life who are queer and want to be celebrated and want to celebrate themselves within the nightlife space. And it offers them a chance to express themselves creatively through music, art, fashion, dance. And those are the pillars that we live by, and those are the pillars that have carried us throughout these years. And that's why I am a cultural creator, because it's involving culture, and we're creating spaces in ways that are, that have never been done before, actually, to be quite honest. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. That's what it is.
Yeah, like to summarize it, basically. So again, you feel like you represent a much needed voice for people who don't necessarily want to speak up. Like that also speaks for me, that also speaks to me because, the world has boxed people in so many ways, whether race, religion, sexuality, also disability, I went to a special school. I'm a person living with albinism. So obviously there's albinism, there's visually impaired and etc. So gave you the courage to actually be like, I want to be the perfect representation of what I stand up for.
Absolutely. You're so right. And I think, it's something that I never set out to be. I think I was just always bold enough to sort of, push against the grain. And, I stand here knowing that, I can truly be myself, and, whoever judges or whatever, like, I really don't care about them. And for me, it always has been about speaking up for myself, but not only for myself, but for the people who are just like me. You know what I mean? And and I think it's a beautiful thing. It's definitely hard, but we try every single day, every single year. We try to push the boundaries all the time, and this is where we are today.
Most definitely. You're here today because of your gifts as a writer, DJ, content creator. And you mentioned something stating that it's very hard, for people like you, or for people like us in these spaces to have a voice, to actually be heard by, big brands. And then you have a relationship with Ballantine. They get to invite you to come play last week, as I said before, Boiler Room. You've played for with Boiler Room before. When was it? 2019, and then you
2019,
killed it. Yeah, 2019, and there was also the transition of different sounds. Amapiano coming into the space, Gomez killing it in the space, and there's different ideas coming through. So in terms of your partnerships with brands, like how do you get to, explain it to somebody that's trying to get into these spaces and be like, I want to work with this brand? How can they, raise their hand and be like, I want to be part of that?
Yeah, I think it's always important to set yourself apart, I guess. And I think how I did that was always being like a multidiscipline creative. I think that's where I always fell under, and I think that's what different brands and how they got involved with me as well. Being a creative that has so many touch points and has so many things to say. One of my skills being like a writer, for example, and, having written like through a lot of publications such as Mail and Guardian, Superbulous and stuff like that. And I think that's how I started getting connected to like those types of brands, and being exposed to, that creative scene and like writing about it. And then, and definitely through the nightlife space as well. I think people forget that even when we do go out and party, there's also an element of us, going out there to basically present yourself and sell yourself. And I know I don't really mean it in a way that way, like, now you have to pitch yourself to like just anybody. I literally mean just like going out and being yourself, and, connecting with the right people at the right time. Sometimes, I don't know, the way that life just happens is so like unexplainable, but you just never know who you're speaking to or who you're, buying a shot for, or, who you're dancing next to, just like always be a really nice person and just get to know them. You never know where they might land you. And, and people speak names, they get to know people and faces, and, and that's how your name gets suggested for, certain things. And I think definitely being in touch with your own community is another thing. So I think that's just like a word of advice for anyone who really wants to like get in these types of spaces.
Yeah.
It's just like, put yourself out there ultimately.
So basically, like how Issa Rae said it, don't just always network up, always try to also network across, like
exactly.
I met a lot of people at your set last week, by the way. A lot of people asking questions. Who are you? What do you do? You've been, because I was rocking with, with Boiler Room and Ballantine for like 10 days straight, not 10 days straight, but since the first day. So I was like, no, this is, what I do. What do you do? People get to follow each other. You get to collaborate. I think collaborations are very important, because you
very
also,
important,
well-traveled, overseas, and you play for big stages. You don't just rock up in J and be like, nah, I'm Lelo, Copa Slot. But you've been playing, wow, like I'm shocked right now. Not really shocked, but I'm like a groupie, because your set has so much meaning. And how do you curate your sets? How do you sit down and be like, this is what I'm going to play? This is what I'm going to kickstart it with?
It's funny that you asked that. When I was playing at a holiday club last weekend, I mentioned that I don't really prepare my sets. Like, I have an idea of what I want to play. But for me, it really is just like how I connect to the crowd and the energy that they give off. And, you can start it off with a few songs here and there, and just to see how people, vibe to it. But definitely, I think for me, it's always like a mood. It's such a spiritual thing as well. Just like feeling people's energies and how they respond to something, and how you can always take it up to the next level. Because whenever I play my sets, it's just like high energy, but also there's something about it that just like makes you feel good and you just want to dance. And that's how I always that's how I envision myself, through club music and electronic music as well. And that's whenever I play, that's exactly what you get.
It's an exercise. That's what I can tell people. Whatever he just said,
yes,
it's definitely an exercise. Because I didn't go to the gym last week, but I mean, I had to sweat when you played. So summer body definitely coming. So to wrap
definitely
it up,
coming with that.
this coming weekend, Shimza, there's no wrong way tour celebrates the versatility of Johannesburg. It's Shimza, the headliner. It's you. I say you're a headliner. Everybody there is a headliner, basically. It's you, LeloWhatsGood, Fifla, and there's Denise Mars. I always call her there's Denise Myers. I don't know where I get the Myers name from, but in terms of the versatility, as it states on the email and the headline explaining everything, there's different sounds that are going to be on the decks, and what I love about our dance culture is that we can dance to anything. You can put maskandi, we will definitely dance and make noise, hip hop, whatsoever. What's the beauty about, Ballantine collaborating with artists, and then this weekend we're still going to be partying? Tell us more about the weekend.
Absolutely. I think the beauty of this Shimza tour and Ballantines as well, and the way that they curated everything is really amazing, because it shows the true essence of Johannesburg and its music and its diversity as well through sounds and its soundscapes. And I think that each and every single DJ has something different to offer. Like Denise Mars is very eclectic and very diverse in her sound as well. Fifla is, so true to like playing hip hop classics, and I love that she doesn't change her sound at all. And it's so well blended and so well researched and in depth. You know what I mean? It's not like your typical like hip hop trap tapes or anything, but it's something that's very like well thought of. And then you get me, who is just like, who dabbles in like genre blending, through Gqom and Afrotech, techno, house, and Shimza as well, who literally takes it up a notch with the Afrotech and house space as well. And I think that it really is amazing to see all those different sounds coming together and how it blends. And that's what you can literally expect at this event as well. I think it's going to be an amazing vibe. The venue being at Great Dane is, it's amazing, right in the heart of Braamfontein.
Great Dane, so much.
Yeah, I'm super. Exactly. So I'm super excited for it. I think it's going to be really amazing.
Most definitely. Well, LeloWhatsGood, thank you so much for joining us on. Funny enough, this is like the first installment of Untapped. We've been planning to have like Untapped since the first lockdown, although we have like podcast series that have different tastes to everything. So this is my baby. You're the very first guest. Snap your fingers for yourself.
So excited. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me as a first guest. That's amazing.
Definitely. So yes, so guys, as you heard it from LeloWhatsGood, Ballantine, Shimza, there's no wrong way tour celebrates the versatility of Johannesburg sound, and we definitely gonna be rocking on the 12th of March. Great Dane, dopest lineup, LeloWhatsGood, Fifla, Denise Mars, Shimza. We're gonna keep rocking. So yes, this is your boy Kev Magic doing it once again for Carve Africa. We outie.